I think we're back. I'll tell you what, there's no end of issues, is there, with this flipping streaming setup. Apologies for that. I'm back. We are live. But yeah, something weird went on with my Thunderbolt enclosure, which is my internet and everything connected to that. Yeah, not sure what went wrong there, but it was like a little arcing noise, and all of a sudden I lost the internet and my main camera. But let's say the main camera is connected to the microphone, so no camera means no microphone. Dear oh dear. So apologies for the cock up, people. And I can just see a super chat come in from Rob's Radio. Thank you very much, Rob. That's cracking. I'm really coming on towards saving up for a computer now after that. I had a very generous 2 donations last week, or one last week and one the week before, of £100 each. One from Rob again, and someone else popped £100 on, so thank you very much for that. Looks like it's going to be around 1,500, so that's for a second-hand one. There is someone that's got a second-hand one in Barnstable, which is not that far from me, which looks a really good spec, but it'll probably be gone by the time I save up for it. But you know, I think I can probably get something for that that'll run the stream a lot better than this laptop does. So who we got in? We have got, I think Mr. Tipton is there. I did see him. Aaron's in. Sunny and hot Penzance. Yeah, it's pretty warm here actually. The aircon is still disconnected because I haven't put it back in the room since I had the broadband upgraded. Chris Milky's in. Hi, Chris. Tamley's in from a cool Colorado. Michael M7 IFF. Welcome, Michael. A new handle is that? A new, what do you call it? Name. I don't know what you call that. It's a new call sign anyway, potentially, Michael. Ricardo's in. Les is in. Afternoon, Les. How are you, mate? James Farley, how are you, mate? From sunny New Jersey, I believe, NJ, yeah? Tim's in. Bob, how you doing, mate? Good man, Bob. Anthony's in. Tom and Susie. Trees changing colour already. Surely we're only just started the summer, aren't we? Yeah. You haven't been knocked out of it, Rob. You just can't log in for some reason. The only thing you can try, Rob, is to set another Facebook name up. Add me as a friend and I'll try and add you in. You have to make up another Facebook handle. All good, David. Hope you're well over there, mate. Russie, how you doing, Russ? Derek's in. Down and up he goes. In and out, like a fiddler's elbow. Oh, dear. Anyway, we're back. All is good. All is good in the hood, and Benji's in now, so we're okay. Sound sync is off. Oh, it is, isn't it? By a million miles. Hell, why is that? 1 minute we're good and then we're bad. Woo! Good. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? I'm wondering which microphone we're connected to then, maybe. That could be the issue. Let me have a look at the sound settings. Let me have a look at the sound settings. Audio settings. No delay. Now, I can't remember what it usually is. Is it about there? I don't know usually is it about there? I don't know if I can't remember what my normal setting is for the sound delay. Vincent, how are you, mate? This is your radio, yes. 3,000 milliseconds? I don't know. 1,000 milliseconds? I don't know. Yeah, good Rusty, mate. Nice to see the old super sovereign icon, Rusty. That means you've been over 2 years as a channel member, I believe. Is that a little bit better on the sync? It's like, I don't know what, I can't remember what the sync speed is now. It should automatically do it, but because it crashed out, it's maybe a bit faster than that. 5,000? That's maybe a bit faster than that. 5,000 milliseconds. Let's try that. How about that? Too fast? 1, 2. Let's try that. How about that? Oh. 7,000. Oh, how about 8,000? 8,000. 1? No. 1? Too slow. How about 11,000? 1? 1? 2? 3? Still too slow for some reason. Oh, delay. 1? David, down payment on the new. I'm going to go for a desktop setup this time, David. I'm going to go get myself a tower because this, I think they just cram too much into these laptops. Oh, what's that? That was my tummy then. They cram too much into these laptops, I think. I think a desktop setup or floor standing tower will be better ventilated. We won't have the overheating issues that we have with this. I think it'll work a lot better, and they're cheaper than buying a laptop as well. But thank you very much, David. Much appreciated, mate. Thank you. Now I see no lip sync. What does that mean? It's no good? Way out of sync. Yeah, I can't remember what the previous setting was. Let's go up with something like, I don't know why it's doing it. Perhaps if I got to 15,000. 1, 2, 18,000. 1. Still delayed. I'm close to sync now, am I, Joe? No way. 18 milliseconds. 18,000. 1. Still delayed. I'm close to sync now, am I, Joe? No way. 8, like maxed out. 20,000 milliseconds. I was better at 11,000, was I? Let's leave it at that then. At 11,000 if Bob reckons. Let's leave it at that then. At 11,000 if Bob reckons. Yeah, I don't know. 18,000 milliseconds is 18 seconds. Yeah, something's not right, but you know, I think we're gonna have to put up with that. Yeah, I had this problem ages and ages ago, but for some reason it's come back. But I have fixed the microphone though, so you'll notice there's no crackle. because I've actually been and resoldered the connections just now. Oh well. Right, so today, way off now. I got not bad now and way off now. So was 18,000 the best? Because I'm at 11,000 that Bob says I was good at. I need some help. Someone tell me. Someone tell me what's going on. Am I way off or am I pretty close? I'm sure I only used to run it about less than 1,000 milliseconds before, you know. Maybe I need to come down this way. Maybe I need to come down this way. Maybe it's down here that's better. I don't know. Let's get me in the small box. You won't need to worry then. You won't be able to see the lip sync issues. Yeah, it shouldn't be a lot, should it? Right, so we need to be about there, I reckon. Just setting the other camera up and then we can we can have a look at Vincent's radio, which is in kit form, as I said in my description. We did give this the once over a while back on a stream when it came in. Still way off, Chris, is it? I don't know whether I should be lower or higher. Go lower, I'm sure. Go lower, I'm sure I was pretty. Let's just try that for now. Well, at least you can hear me. That's the main thing. Let's switch to that. How's the lip sync now? How's the lip sync now? Am I in sync? There you go. That's much better. How about that? Yeah, frame rate seems good with the new broadband. Although I'm being bottlenecked by everything else here. Yeah, that's much better, Bob, isn't it? There's no issues with sound now. I've sorted that. Perfect. So this is Vincent's radio. Is it Vincent or Vince? I'm not sure. Some people don't like their names being shortened. I don't mind Gray. I get called Gray quite often. Gray, Graham, Cruncher, Mr. Cruncher, Crunchy Cruncho, Crackers, you know, whatever you want. Yeah, so this is Vincent's radio now. I can't remember what we did on this. I don't think we did anything. We just had a look under the microscope, didn't we? And that was about it. Let's get it more in the center of the bench so you can see. Lip sync's perfect. We're looking at the radio. I'll stick me up in the corner just to bug you with my out of sync talking. Now I don't think we powered this up, did we? Because it's been properly disconnected, I think. 'Cause that RF cable's been pulled out, hasn't it? Now I need to find out where that goes to. It probably goes to this board, but I can't remember where off the top of my head. I have got another board here because I've still got the other one that I've repaired that doesn't work. Audio's still wrong. Replace the audio chip. Still no good, and still distorted. Get some strange voltage readings on it, but you can never really 100% be sure of voltages on these sets. because you never know whether the service manual is correct or not. The best way is to do it with a working set. So it'd be nice to get a reference to know where we start with this. I don't remember. I did pull up the email that Vincent sent me, but I can't remember. I think you pulled this apart, Vincent, didn't you, to have a look at it, and then I thought, no, I'll leave that, and just left it, and that was it, I think. Let me just get the other set then a minute, and I'll have a look, see where this cable goes, because this is Ernest's set here, which is also a Pro80, but this one is in 5 million pieces. Now, is that the cable that goes there? Is it the one that goes into the connector? Let me have a little look. So yeah, I'm still going through this set of Ernest's. I've found some anomalies, but I still haven't got to the bottom of the issue. Yeah, I've got a feeling that's pulled out of the actual RF plug. Just get this one out. I'm pretty sure that's pulled out of the RF plug in here, isn't it? Oh no, it's in that one. Let me have a look then. No, it's in there. So it goes from there, it jumps up onto the top of this board. Okay, so it goes in there basically. So it looks like we're going to have to strip that back and solder that directly to the board because the little plastic connector's gone. I think what we might do is just hook this up and see where we are as a starting point. See where we are to start with, and then we can work from there on. Aaron's back. Am I missing anybody else? Have I missed anybody? Way off now. Not bad now. Way off now. Good, bad, ugly. Right, what's I going to do? I'm just going to turn the desoldering tool on for one. Yeah, for some reason my Stream Deck isn't working either. So I think that's when everything went pear-shaped, when I tried plugging the Stream Deck in and everything, the internet went off and everything. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Ernest! Welcome, Ernest. I haven't given up on your radio yet, mate, so don't worry, but it really is causing me lost sleep at the moment, trying to work out what the hell's wrong with it. I've just got to keep, sometimes you've got to step away from things and come back with a fresh mind, if you know what I mean. I've done that quite a few times with that, and also an SW77 which I'm working on, which is proving to be another nightmare. So I've got two radios at the moment that I'm really stuck on. This is the other one. This is a Sony SW77, which has no FM. It's working fine, apart from no FM. And there was some really badly corroded transistors in this area. And I took them off and cleaned them up and then put them back on again. But I've now renewed them just in case the heat damaged them. but these FM trimmers on here are badly corroded as well. I found lots of breaks on the board. There's a break over here on the board. There was a break up here on the board. There's a couple real badly corroded bits up there, but they're okay now. So yeah, that's another one that's just taken forever. I think what I'm going to need to do with Ernest's set is get a decent working Pro80 and just compare them, because you know, it just doesn't read right. It just doesn't seem right, the readings that I'm getting off of it. It all seems fine, in fairness. There doesn't seem to be any issues whatsoever, but clearly is. Right, let's just desolder this off. I've been and hang on. Is that? Where's that at? No, I'm desoldering the wrong bit. Okay, it doesn't want to clear the holes. Gonna have to have a little look at that under the microscope. That is working, hopefully, today. Let's see if we can view the microscope today. Yes, we can. Wow. Oh. So I go down. I pull the focus up a bit. So there's where that connector's pulled out of. Where's my tweezers gone? Have I been tidy and put them away? Probably not. But yeah, I think I may have done. So we've got one here with a blocked hole, because you know that's a ground. So it's sinking a lot of heat. And that's the other one, which is clear. We've got all this lovely Sony conductive glue everywhere. So now we're going to do this, and I'm going to have to add some fresh solder in that, I think. I don't think I'm going to get it out else. Could try giving it a bit of a wick. Bit of a John Wick. Let's clean that muck out of the way. Sandra, how are you and Ben doing? Ben in the shed. Looked like a cat chucked up in it. He might have done. He might have done. No, we ain't got a cat though, but maybe Vincent's cat chucked up in it. I don't know. So let's see if we can get anything up with a bit of solder wick. Absolutely nothing. No surprise there. So I'm going to have to pop the board over. Let's just switch back to the desktop for a minute, because you won't be able to really see what I see in here. There is quite a lot of corrosion on the back of this board as well. Right, where are you? Where are you? Yeah, you might better see it. So I'm over the other side of the board now. Sometimes if all else fails, just popping a fresh bit of solder in. I don't know if this is lead free or not. You can see I desoldered the what's his name accidentally, the doodad thing. Fresh bit of solder in there. We'll solder these back while we're at it. Right. Let's try desoldering that. There you go. Perfect. Sometimes that's all you need. Just a bit of nice new solder and away we go. Right. Yeah, this is lead-based solder. Do sometimes use unleaded if it's a modern bit of kit in for repair, but for my own stuff I just use good old leaded. Just flows much better than that. Right, I don't know if you want to be right in close like this, do you? Do you want to be right in close like this, or do you want to just see when I finished it? I'm going to have to shorten that wire, I think. I will pop myself back on just for a laugh, just so as you can have a look at the synced to the max. Yeah. Yes, you're dead right. So yeah, we're going to connect this directly to the board, directly. Now, which one is which is the question. So the black one goes to L. It actually says a black L. It's not going to want to go through there, is it? So we just put a dab of solder on the end of it, just a fraction. Just to stop it fraying. Right, let's just solder that first one in a minute. And once that's caught, if I can find it, where is it? Oh, it's nasty corrosion on this board. Ah, there he is. Cleaned the board up too well. That's one. Let's get rid of Derek's cat sick off the board. There we are. If I can get it in the camera, I'll show you my handiwork. So let's just give that a clean up. I can find me cotton buds because I tipped them all over the place last week, as you know. Right, how does that look? Like a pig's ear or fluffy bits on there? Lots of bits of fluffiness. Yeah. Good. Alright, let's have a look at this. Well, we've got the microscope here. Let's just have a quick scat over this board. See if we can see any other issues on this side. And notice it's really gammy over here. And it looks like we've had a lot of electrolyte come through this area onto the board here. I don't know if you can see that. Not looking great, is it? We'll get closer for focus. Yeah, about there probably. Yeah, there's a lot of muck come through there. There's a lot of brown stuff in this area as well, which looks like electrolyte. That's horrible stuff, isn't it? Once it gets in here. I mean, you'd think that was flux, but it isn't. Look at this lot. It's like thick, treacly stuff. Cheers, David. Catch you soon, mate. And I'll keep you updated with the desktop computer scenario. I don't really want to go in debt by getting one on credit, but I might be forced to. I don't know. I don't really want to do that. I really don't want to, because my credit score has taken a bit of a hit recently, because every time you have something like a phone or a phone contract, you get a credit check, and that affects your credit rating here in the UK. I'm sure it does in other places, but certainly here in the UK it gives you a good wallop on your credit score. You'd almost think that was flux, really. I mean, look at the colour of it. But it is We've got some really dry capacity. It's not really even worth hooking this up to test it, but I want to just see where we are as a starting point if I can. Although, so we've got some nasty, cruddy looking stuff there as well. Thank you, Rob. More flux. We've got more stuff there come through. And here. I don't see any broken tracks though. Got more over here. A little bit in this area. It's not looking good. A bit of white. No, so that top side of the board seems worse. Oh, we've got a bit down here, a bit of corrosion in this area. Yeah, this is very funky down here. Yeah, we've got a bit come through here. Again, I can't really see any broken tracks. But a lot of muck has come through there. Ben's in, how you doing, mate? Get some of this off while we're in here. The longer it lays on the board, the worse it's likely to get. I'm surprised that hasn't gone through the traces really. That's pretty good. The problem you've got is the vias, and it's so hard. You've just got to spend hours with your head stuck in the schematic and looking at the board plans, trying to work out what goes where, checking for continuity and checking your voltages. It takes forever. Okay, so it's not looking too bad on that side anyway. Let's stick you back on the main camera, then I'll get the microscope underneath. I think it's acid. I don't think it's flux, Ricardo. You don't tend to get a lot of flux on these boards because it's surface mount. So the underside of that really grubby area is no surprise to be over here where most of the capacitors are. If we zoom out there, you'll see where it started chewing away at the board. So this is the top side of where all that muck was on the underside of the board. So this is basically the AM section and SSB, as you can see. This particular pot here that you can see it in smack bang in the middle is actually T11, the one's obscured by this. They do suffer quite bad. I've had 3 of these now where the contacts have gone open. The coils have gone open on that transformer. So you can see we've got lots of wet, mucky stuff on the board. You know, this is all electrolyte all over here. All over these capacitors. Sorry, transistors. In fact, that's a diode, I think, that one. And I think we've got to be careful with these that we don't put too much heat in, because I think that can also damage that. So we're going to have to lift those with a soldering iron, those two, for sure. Where else we got? Yeah, we've got corrosion down here. This chip is the IF chip, I believe, for AM and FM. This is the FM section in here, with all our 10.7 filters. wide and narrow filters over there, I believe. I think one of these is wide, one's narrow. But yeah, you can see we got some shiny there where this one's leaked. And we've got another one down there, doesn't look too bad. Let's have a look at the other board then underneath. I believe we have looked at these before, but... Okay, so amplifier sections here. We've got a fair bit of corrosion around this one. Yeah, that lead there's a bit worse for her. Hopefully you can see that. It's weird with the light shining back at the camera. But yeah, you can see we've got some corrosion on there. That's going to be difficult to get that one out because that's gone right through the solder, that, and that one's really crusty as well. So are my tweezers. Let's get all the muck off my tweezers. Yeah, that one's not too bad. A bit of corrosion. Obviously it has leaked. You can see this is a bit wet underneath the audio chip there, the audio IC. Coming over here, that one's not too bad. The other area that gets really bad is over here. This is our voltage regulator. These go for a pastime. That one's got a fair bit of corrosion on it. Let's pull some of these wires out of the way. Yeah, there's a bit of muck. I don't know if I cleaned this before. It's not looking. Oh, that's a bit nasty up there. Yeah, that's probably the worst area around those two then. Right by this plastic connector, so you can't get any hot air in there. I can see that squelching as I'm moving it there. Yeah, that's not looking. We've got a lot of electrolyte in this area. See all this shininess here? It's gone through all those wires there. It's crept up here as well by the looks of it. Yeah, so say you've got 3 in that area, and the other 2 are underneath this DC-DC converter can. Okay. Let's get my light back down. That's better. Whew. H. Neil, good afternoon to you. So we catch up with a chat a minute. Rob was cooking spaghetti last I heard. Well, that wire's connected now. I wonder if we can just go for a quick power up to test this a minute. I know it's a bit ropey, all pulled apart like that, but as long as we're careful, we should be able to. Not heard from Vincent for a while. Maybe he's quivering in the corner somewhere because we've got his radio in pieces. Packed it up very nicely, actually, considering this is some time. I think he said it was years ago it was pulled apart. And we've got the minis coming through today. I think that might be the start of them now, so you'll hear lots of horns blowing. if you've watched a stream in previous years, you know that in the bank holiday weekend, the August one, we get a load of minis come through. I believe they're due today, so there'll be a lot of noise soon. Shall we connect that speaker up, or shall we? Yeah, let's connect it up because we can verify it's working. It's in good condition actually, this speaker. Normally the rubber goes all very hard. I won't touch it just in case it evaporates in front of my very eyes. But are we going to be able to sort of prop all this up on the bench safely and try and work it? Let's get a poly bag and put underneath that so nothing shorts out. Need this around this way so I can plug some power into it. And I believe it's 6 volts, center pin negative. Center pin negative. I think that's set on 9 at the moment. Right, let's put some power in it. Well, I can see it's come on straight away. I don't know if you can see that, but can't hear any volume, but it's not to say it's just not turned up. No, absolutely nothing. Dead as a dodo. Let's have a look. So if we go direct, do I need to switch to FM? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then execute. Well, that should be FM, but I can't hear anything. Let's see if I can find anything in the radio a minute. Now FM normally can get in around this area somewhere. Right, so we have got sound in there. So I'm just poking my signal tracer in there. Very distorted, but we haven't got an aerial connected, don't forget. And it's drawing too much amps really. It's drawing 111 milliamps, which doesn't sound a lot, does it? But for one of these, that's quite a lot. So there we are, no output. So the audio section's had it. We're on the RF board there. Amplifier board is this one here. So yeah, there is signs of life, which is good. But nothing coming out of the speaker yet. So let's get it into some sort of state of disassembly here, and we can make a start. Let's pull that back out. Pass your test in an Austin Mini. I passed mine in a Mark II Escort. Yeah, you can hear the minis coming past now. Come on. Let's put that back in his little bag. Put that back. Let's take the I did used to have an old 850 Mini back when I was, well, when I first came out my apprenticeship. That was my first sort of, that wasn't my first car. I had lots of different cars, but. Right, this is a little bit precarious because all of the boards are still connected. You can't do anything about that. It's easier to take this one out. Mrs. Cruncher normally goes and looks at the Mini. She's got a Mini herself. Where do we start then? We need to check that that coil's okay, and I think I already did this, but let's do it anyway. Again, I really do need to get some new leads for this thing. God, can you hear all those air horns? Right, let's have a look. We should have good continuity on this coil. T10, where are you? T11, there we go. Yeah, we're good on the primary. Yeah, I think that coil's okay. I think the transformer is good. That's good news. Right. Let's make a start on this board. Let me get you in a bit closer. Yeah, Mrs. Cruncher's got a Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works Mini Coupe. A Mini Coupe, John Cooper Works. Which is a crazy thing. I mean, what's the matter with her? So I'm going to use a microscope because it's easier for me. If you want to look, do you want to look through the microscope, or you want to look through the main camera? Up to you. You probably see a bit more through the main camera. I'm just going to do this just for ease of doing it, really. There's no point having decent tools and not using them, is there? Anything that makes it easier. So say, we're not going to finish this today, I don't think. Well, definitely not, because it is quite warm today. Poor, it stinks. It stinks of fish. So all I'm doing is just heating up the cap. Just adding some fresh solder into it. And it is moving. That's the idea. Try and walk it off the board. There we are. Good. First one off. That's a 22. Oh, well, I've got pictures of this anyway. Yeah, so we've got to be really careful of the potentiometer there. You prefer the scope? Okay. So you can see I've just taken that one off there. Gotta be careful, gotta be dead smack bang in the center of the scope there. So you can see the one I've just taken off there, right by T11. A bit of flux on that. That's looking good. There you go, that's that one gone. Let's go for this one next. Actually, might go for that one. Look at all the muck on that. Look at the muck on that. So I think I'm going to switch to a smaller tip, although if I can get it off with a bigger tip, it's better because you've got more surface area, or thermal mass as they call it, I believe. Look at all that muck bubbling up there, look. Yeah. It's got a bit of fresh solder that side. I don't know if I can get in this side with this tip. Again, there's a very fine balance, because if you put too much heat into the board, you'll just rip the trace off anyway. So let's see if we can't get this one moving now. We've got a bit of fresh solder on each side. So that side. There she goes in a blobby mess of muck. Just hit that up with a bit of fresh flux. Yeah, pads look okay there. Doing the same with the next one there, 47. Let's put a bit of heat into it, try and get it moving. You've got a bit of solder on the tip of the iron anyway. There she goes. Yeah, a lot of muck on the board. Let's get that off a minute. Yeah, my neighbour's got a vintage Morris Traveller, which he's restored, Rob. Very nice. But they come through Goodness the Garden. Catch you soon, Sandra. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, she ain't got no air horns. She'd like them, I think. Vincent, thank you very much, mate. Good to see you still with us. We haven't scared you off. So yeah, lots of brain muck here. Thank you very much for the super chat, Vincent. Let's get rid of some of this. The brown juice that ruins the boards. Yeah, that's looking good. That's 3 off. As I say, it's one of those things, you can twist these off, but when you've got a corroded board, twisting is quite risky. So you risk See, you've got a much narrower field of view than I've got here. I've got to literally have you smack bang center on. So here's the next one. A little bit of, I think, what's his name? How's your father on that lip? If I tilt it, you might be able to, no. A 2.2, that 50 volts. That's next on the hit list. Let's chuck a bit of flux down here actually on these. Just help the solder flow a bit better. I was just going to say there's a weird capacitor there. There's no capacitor there. Well, of course, that's one that I took off earlier. Right, let's see if we can get these two moving. Yeah, that's taken. And this side. I mean, normally you wouldn't do this because you're melting the foot of the cap, but being this is had it anyway, and if you just saw that one drop off then, but there he is. It dropped right off. Let's get the one above it off as well. Yeah. Poor, I'll tell you what, if you could have smell-o-vision, this stinks. That's that one. Alright, let's have a bit of a go on those. So yeah, it's taking the solder mask off there with the corrosion. That's pretty bad under that one as well. Let's clean it up and see what's there. I've not wicked any of the solder off yet. I'm just leaving it on for a minute. I've got to go over this and wick it all off. But no lifted pads, which is good. Okay, that's all the ones off in that area. We've got one over here to do. 47 at 6 volts. I don't know if that's all the minis, but there's not as many as usual. Got to be careful here because we've got the plastic connector. We don't want to burn that, ideally. So again, I'm just coming in with the iron. I can see that it's solder, which it is, in the other side. See if we can get it moving. It's difficult to get around this because of the way I've got the microscope set up, but hopefully I can get it. I can't see it with the microscope in the way. Let's pop the positive off first, then maybe. There she blows. So you can see all these little holes right by where the capacitor is. That tends to be the problem with all that muck going down through those holes and just corroding the joint between the two halves of the board, the two sides of the board. So that is the cause of the problem a lot of the times. I was trying to get you a good angle, really, a good in focus angle. There you are, that's a bit better. But yeah, not a lot of corrosion around that one, which is good. There's only one more left on this board, and that's this one here in the FM section. A lot of crud around the pins there on the eye sealer. If you can see that, where that little resistor is, it says 333 or 3Es. Again, difficult to do because we've got this plastic filter right beside it, which we can't really mess with. Let's get you in shot. So yeah, we're going to do this one with the old purple spot on it, purple stripe. So again, I'm going to go in with a little bit of flux just to help matters. Let's move these components off the bench. Yeah, let's take in and heat this side as well. Yeah, he's moving. He's on the move. Just come right off that one. What's the board look like on this one? Yeah, it's not great underneath that one. No, that's not great there. That is a bit too crusty. Let's give that a clean up and then we'll get through a lot of cotton buds on this job. Of course, I've already done all this to Ernest's board. Ernest's board is lovely and sorted, apart from it don't work. So we've definitely got a via there that we probably need to check out, because we've got a lot of corrosion in this area. Not corrosion, but a lot of electrolyte gone everywhere. Spread quite a way, that. Certainly spread up to here. Doesn't look too bad, actually. Just put a little bit of flux on it and just go over the joints a minute, just make sure we're okay. Yeah, that one's not great. That's okay, but yeah, that one's struggling to take solder. Look, I'm going to do too much because it'll kill the tracks if you overheat it too much. So we definitely need to check that that one's okay on the other side of the board. You know, that could be an issue. Okay, so that board is done now. Well, I say done, all the caps are off of it. So let's get on to the trickier board, I do tend to try and do the hardest one first, but I didn't this time. I've done the easy one first, haven't I? So again, you can't really heat these, and the other thing is you can't really get in there with a soldering iron because you've got the plastic connectors are way too close to the capacitors. Let me just catch up with the chat a minute. SMDs, for some reason, they just made them bad in the 90s, Rob, really. So see what I mean? If I get you on the microscope view here, how close that actually is to those capacitors. You can see there it's very close. You know, I know it seems a bit sacrilege, but I might have to just try and wiggle these out with the pliers. Not that one, I can get that one, but these two here, I'm probably going to have to twist them out, which is a little bit dodgy because obviously there's a bit of corrosion there, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. What do you think? Danish. Love working in the yard, keeps your ticket going. How are you, mate? Before it rains. Multi, how you doing, mate? Graham and Doctor Who, Chris. Oh dear. So a lot of cap juice under the chips, there is. Luckily that's not too bad, that one, because it's a flat upright chip. They don't usually cause problems. Usually the problem one is the voltage regulator. So I'm going to do the unheard of and get some decent pliers. The old Nipex or Knipex, how do you pronounce that? Nipex, Knipex, I don't know, but long nose pliers, old, and used to be part of my kit as a British gas engineer years ago. And I'm going to grab a mode, if I can get some focus on these glasses, and I'm going to give them a little twist, see what happens. Yeah, they're going to come out fine. There's one, and the other one. Some people hate me doing this, but you know, it's better than burning components on the board. That's what I say. Two. Yeah, that was really wet underneath. Powder look good though. And while we're in, we might as well do this one as well at the same time. Don't do this at home. Unless you're experienced doing this, you can cause a lot of damage to a board doing this. There we go. Right, let's get the old Mickey microscope back in and we'll have a look. Actually, before we do that, let's get some Radiocruncher beer underway. No finger this week, but I have got a purple porter. Oh, you like a purple porter. Courtesy of Mr. Liddell. Sir Liddell. Because basically it's the cheapest one in there. It's the cheapest one in there. Let's get that in. I like a drop of porter. It's like a sort of a cross between stout and a real ale porter. 4.5% as well, so it's not like mega weak. to wait for that to go down before I can put any more in. Cheers, Vince. Vincent. Cheers, mate. You wouldn't have thought of twisting them out, yeah. You can cut the tops off of the smaller ones, Anthony. These sort of smaller ones you can, the bigger ones are a bit tough to cut through. And you can do a lot of damage by squeezing them the wrong way and pulling the pads off the board. But let's have a look and see what the damage is by me twisting them then. I think you'll find that there is none. But twisting them does work, but you just have to be really careful, people. I wouldn't recommend it unless you've got a couple practice boards that you've had a go at. I think some of the old computers, you could twist them. Twist them? No, I don't mean twist them. Let's have a little look-see then. So you can see we've got pads intact, and we still have the legs of the capacitor soldered to the board, which is great stuff. I don't know where you are. I think you can see that one. That one's okay. Move across a bit. That one, and across a bit further, and that one. So they're all good. You can see all the muck that's come out. That one in particular was very wet underneath. So let's just clean up those a minute. A little bit of corrosion got underneath the track there. Same on that one, a bit of corrosion got under the track, but it hasn't travelled to the audio chip, which is good news. So we've got these two electrolytics that have got to come out now. So I'm going to swap you back to the other camera a minute, and we're going to pop those out. Right, where are they? In there. Two, three, four. Tell you what, it's a bit of a game with these boards being piggybacked like this. So I've got the desoldering tool warmed up anyway. Look, let's get you in a bit closer. Let's turn that microscope off for a minute. Out the way. Thanks for subscribing, Joachim Ernesto. That's probably pronounced totally wrong. Someone's into coffee liqueur, very nice. So I'm just going to use the desoldering tool to hopefully get the cruddy solder out from these. Nice and quick, we don't need that on anymore, I don't think. Well, actually we do in a minute. Alright, these should lift out now. What's that one? 470 at 10. Now 220 at 10. So now we got good access in underneath to have a look at the board, and this is usually one of the areas where it's quite bad, but this one looks all right actually. I think we're going to be okay with this one. I think Ernest was a lot worse than this. Yeah, a bit of corrosion around that one in particular, but let's just get you, see if I can get you a good angle on this. So let's get something to point with. So that's where I've taken this cap out of that. So you can see this, the solder mask has been eaten away there by the, see, the solder mask has been eaten away by the electrolyte, but it's not broken the, joint by the looks of it. I would assume that the pad's all right. That one's really crusty. So we certainly need to get some flux on that and just reflow that. Yeah, that one's, as I say, we have lost a bit of the fluff all over me tweezers now. Lost a little bit of the solder mask, but that's okay. That won't hurt. And this one, yeah, again, this, you can see that there's, I don't know if you can see that little black patch there, well that's where it's gone in underneath again. So you can see that's peeling back. Need to get that off and get that cleaned. Yeah, it's just flaking away there where it's gone in underneath that. If you leave it, it'll just keep on eating it away. So you put nice new caps in, but you left all the corrosive stuff behind. You don't want to do that. You can see that or not. So let's put a bit of flux down and we'll lift off these pads. Those two gone. Looking nice. These two, of course, they put wires in the way, haven't they? It's going to run a bit of solder, fresh solder around those as well. Let's grab a bit of solder on the end of the iron. There we go. Yeah, so can you see that even though the pads are clean, it's not flowing on the whole pad because of the corrosion. And this one down here, you can see that it's not flowing on the whole pad. See the solder mask is lifting there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of corrosion in there, but it's pretty good compared to most, to be fair. Right, next one. Let's get a bit of flux on this one as well. There we go. That was all right. No problem. Yeah, that one there's not great. The better, but right. There we are. Martin Ryan, did I fix the Sony 2010? No, that is the next repair, Martin. That's Clint's radio, Oxford shortwave log. That should be next Sunday. Depends if I can get a chance to finish this one in the week. I need to get a repair done before the end of the month because these repairs pay for my storage unit, where I keep all my spares radios and bits and pieces that won't fit in the house. And I need to do a couple repairs a month to pay for the storage unit. If I don't, then I'm in stuck. So, you know, it's a bit of a luxury really, the storage unit, but it has helped us no end at home, keeping it clean and giving us room for normal living, because it was getting a bit overcrowded in here. Right, that's looking nice. Yeah, happy with that. Right, we've got another one over here to do. Let's get you in on that one. So again, I could take that one out with a hot air, but it doesn't look corroded, so we might just get and twist that one out as well. So I can see if I can do a twisty on camera on the microscope. How about that? Can we do that? So grabbing it hold. No, I can't really get a good angle on it because the camera's in the way. Oh yeah, we might be able to. So I'm just rocking it, look, just back and forward. I can see one leg's gone. You don't want to lift them up. You literally got to just rock them side to side, twisting. There she goes. So we got a little bit of the capacitor left on the board. So you have to just snip that off. I just tend to snip that off. Lift the base off, and there we have our pads. Let's go in with a bit of flux. There we are. They look nice and clean. Not too much muck gone through that area. There's a little bit over on this IC here, but not too bad. And looks like there's a little bit gone down through where it says DC converter there. Okay, looking good. So we have got a couple under there, but we'll leave them for a minute. Let's get over to this cruddiness over here. So I think these are too corroded to twist off. In fact, I'm sure they're too corroded to twist off. They're really close to the connector here, but I think because they're angled like this, we should be able to get the soldering iron in there. Again, I have got a thinner tip, but if I can get in with this one, all one and good. Take this one out of the way first, it'll give us a bit more room. I think from what Vincent said, this radio used to belong to his late father, which has got a bit of sentimental value, so we need to try and get it back to how he would have remembered it working back in the day. Yeah, this is pretty cruddy, this one. Where's my forceps? You've got to be careful, this one doesn't want to come off, I don't think. He is coming off, because I've said he's got to. There he is. Yes, you can see all the muck underneath that one. That'll become more apparent when we clean it up in a minute, but one down, one to go. Well, 2 to go. 4 to go, really. So you've got a SMD capacitor right in the way here. Really, really cruddy, that one. It's moving though. That means the solder's gone in underneath. Oh, this one stinks to high heaven. I think he's let go this one. I think the bottom's come right out of him. Come on. You don't want to come off the board though. I don't know why. You don't want it. It's just hanging in. Come on. Yuck. Yeah, that one was not great. Let's get some cleaning up done in there a minute. Look at the state of that, look. Look at that. It mings, stinks to high heaven. Oh yeah, there's a lot of corrosion on that pad there, on the negative pad. Yeah, you can see that the mask has gone black there, the solder mask, where the electrolyte, and that via there looks dodgy as, that one. Look at the state of that one. So that via there I'm on about, we definitely need to see if that one's still connected. But can you see where this has all gone black here? That's where it's all got in underneath and on into that pad. Just trying to see if I can get you a better angle with a decent light. Yeah, there you are. Hopefully you can see that, where it's all gone black there. That's what happens, unfortunately. You see it's bubbling up here, but this has got all, look at the state of that. Badly corroded. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Yeah, I think you can. I mean, I am in a bit close, but it's come out a little bit. And here, look. So before I solder that back up again, I'm going to have to put some new solder mask in that, otherwise it's just going to flow everywhere. And we also need to check the connections to this chocolate block, this connector here. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Let's yeah, it's bad, isn't it? Green to black. Let's just get a bit of fresh solder in there. Oh, careful, felt the tip of the soldering iron then. Yuck. Okay, you can see all the muck and that bubbling up. So the other thing we need to make sure is that this connector, this voltage regulator is okay. Looks to be. These are all grounds on this side, so you don't need to worry about them being joined together. But yeah. What a mess. And as I say, I've got that suspect wire there to check out as well. The electrolytes travel down through all of these wires. So if we've got a missing voltage, you can bet your life it's going to be on one of these. Yeah, still can see. Oh, that's got to come off because it's going underneath it. Don't know if that does go onto there or not. I'll have to have a look at the schematics just to see if that pad does connect to one of these wires. I suspect it connects to the ground wire there. It probably comes in underneath. Whether this is a ground as well, I don't know. Black one's highly likely to be ground. Yeah, it is. So I suspect that pad comes in and joins to this. I might be in the corrosion is so bad I might have to pull this connector. I don't like pulling these out because they're horrible to get out the board. But yeah, I very much doubt whether that wire's got anywhere to go. Yeah. So that's the worst area so far by the looks of it, isn't it? Got more of that electrolyte jammed in there, that by the looks of it. So we've got one more cap in here, which is this one. Again, really awkward to get at because of all these wires, but that one looks okay. So I think we've got a twisty, we can get a bit of a twisty situation going on that one. A bit of a twisty on that one. It could have been a lot worse, Vincent. I've seen it much worse. There she blows. Nice. That's that one twisted off. Let's get rid of the legs. There we are. Twist and shout. Yeah, that's all right, that one. We've got another wire there, that one looks okay. And when I say wire, I'm just meaning like a connection between one side of the board and the other, so the signal goes via that, or the power goes via that. In this case, that's going to be power, I think. So there's only one bit left to do, and that's the DC to DC. A nice shiny brass trim piece. Job done. Well done, Bob. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's a nice drop, that. I think we're going to be on the Gran Turismo later on, me and Mrs. Cruncher. Right. Next up is to get this this thing off. This is the shield for the DC to DC converter. And as with all the Sonys, you've got electrolytics in the DC to DC converter. And if you don't do them, you're going to be in trouble. Right, let's see if I can solder set these off rather than fire up the old, what's the name? Desoldering tool. Let's see, some of these I've seen with a modification to this, with a wire attached to here, but this one hasn't got it. That's that one. This one's tricky. Nope. And then it's attached on this side as well. But only by that one there. Annoying fly time. Right, let's just get the tweezers underneath that, then we'll lift these. Start with this one. There we are. Nice. That's the lid off. You've got two more points to desolder. It's all coming back to me now. going, look. Must be getting near tea time. And there it is, he says, with it not coming out. Because it's tangled up in a mass of wires. And there we have our last two capacitors on the board. And there's definitely signs that these have been leaking as well. I mean, yeah. I don't know if you can see these, but certainly on this inductor, see that on there? You can see, yeah, you can see that. That's a bit of electrolyte set up on top there. You can see it's all dull here where it's travelled in underneath. So we've got a 22 at 6 volts and a 10 at 35 here. So again, I can get the soldering iron in there. We've got a bit of corrosion on the board here by the looks of it as well. But nothing too major, I don't think. It just means we're going to have the solder mask removed on the negative, which is common. Come on, get one off, the other one comes off easy enough. Okay, without burning any wires. There we are. Those two off. Let's have a look at the muck underneath that then. Yeah, so we've got the solder mask gone again on this one. Where they've leaked. But not too bad, I've seen worse. Yeah, just a little bit around there. All good. Dreaded nasty glue stuff, look. That's right on that transistor there, so that could short those two legs out potentially. Look, let's get rid of some of that. Derek's sick. Not Derek's sick, but Derek's cat sick. It also corrodes the tracks sometimes as well, this stuff. I've heard that before. You pick it away and lo and behold, underneath the glue is corrosion, where it eats away. Let's get that away from the components. It's fine where it's supposed to be, keeping that crystal stable. I'm not going to totally undo it, I just don't want it shorting out these components. Okay, just having a little nosy around the board then. Again, we got more electrolytes sat on the board there. More cotton buds. It's about 50 quid's worth of cotton buds so far on this Vincent. Get as much of it off as you can when you see it, because when it all starts going back together, surprising what you miss. Right, looking good, looking good. I need to change out Stream Elements to computer fund, I think. You're hungry now, but diabetes says you can't eat, really? Okay, so next up, how are we doing for time? I don't want to be a late one today. It's 4 o'clock now. So don't think we're going to get round to replacing these caps today on the stream, but I can either leave it for next Sunday, but I do want to crack on with Clint's radio next Sunday if I can. I want to get this one finished, so if it's not finished by next Sunday, then I'm going to be putting this one on the stream again. So I'm just going in now and taking off the flux off of the pads. Sorry, the solder, just in preparation for the new tantalums. I believe Vincent selected the tantalum option, which is the best one, because they shouldn't ever leak again. It's unlikely they'll cause any problems, being it's low voltage. I think it's a bit different in higher voltage circuits. Tantalums can cause issues. Yeah, those pads have come up better now. I've taken that off. I don't want to burn the wires. So I'm just wicking off all the old, well not old, but the new fresh solder that I put on in preparation for new capacitors. I should take that switch out of the way, really. That would make things a lot easier, but I'm just being lazy. Okay, that's those done. This is the problem area. This is going to need some further work, I reckon, in this area. You can join me on the microscope if you want. Let's get you into the action. As I say, what I'm doing is just going in with some solder wick at the moment and taking off the So this is the worst area of the board so far. Let's see what this comes up like. Yeah, not great. And we've got a wire there as well. That needs checking out 100%. I don't know if you can see that, there's literally a wire right beside the pad. I'm going to try and get this one done as well. We've got all these wires here in the way. It's a bit of a spaghetti junction, this, isn't it? So I have got some videos on my YouTube page of how this is done step by step, although I haven't put the last installment on there yet. Okay, that's looking better. So we've got a bit of muck there. But yeah, it's strange, isn't there? There's a wire literally right there on that pad. I don't know if you can see that little black dot. Look. If I zoom in, is that a wire or is it just me? Am I cracking up? No, that might not be a wire. Is it or isn't it? No, it's not, huh? Okay. But yeah, look at the state of the legs on this thing and this. We're going to have to reflow those as well. You're not one of wire. But yeah, look at the legs on this transistor and this resistor here. Look. Zoom out a little bit. So we're going to have to I don't know whether it's worth taking these off the board sometimes rather than reflowing them, but it depends. Because really, to take them off the board, you want to use hot air. Yeah, it won't even take solder that. Ah, there we are. Just started to flow. Look at all the black muck coming out though. Yeah, it's just not. I'm sort of rubbing the soldering on to try and break the corrosion. There we go. Can you see all the muck and that coming out of that? Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace that resistor, I think. It might be all right with the transistor. Oh, there's my isopropyl bottle dropping into the action. Saying clean me now. But yeah, look at all the muck that's come out of that, and it's gone really, it's like super glue and baking soda. I mean, that resistor might be all right. We'll measure it in a minute. If I can stick it on one pad, I should be able to measure it. But yeah, that's really crusty, isn't it? So that brown muck is everything that was in the solder. But I think that one's okay now. Now what's that cap? 471 then. What's that as a resistor? 471. Someone come on. 47. Is that 47 ohms or 470? I always get confused. tell you, that is crusty as. So 471, I think that's, sorry, 471, I thought I said 470, 471. So it's 47 and 10, isn't it? 470. Someone's probably already told me that on the chat, but I've just got my head under the microscope again for a minute, just getting all this crud out from underneath it. Gonna have to go in on it with the old bristle brush. Let's give that a little bit of a dry off. That's better, isn't it? You can see where the solder mask is coming away still. So it's 471, not 470, 470 ohms. Let's get my book of magic bits, look. Zoom back out. Go to that screen. Sample book, and whatever that says, that probably says sample book in Chinese. Zeros. Oh, that's great. I haven't got a 470. Nice. So I've got all these massive resistors and capacitors. I haven't got a 470 ohm. Great. That's capacitors and resistors. That's another thing I need to put on my list of stuff to get there. Let's just make sure I've got a 470 in here. 47 NF. 100, 2 ohms. No 470s. So let's have a look at that one. See if I can pull that one out and test it a minute, or just leave it on one pad and test it maybe somehow. Because it's a devil of a job to so that's sat on both pads there at the moment. No, it's stuck on the thing. Right, if If I can just tack it onto one of these pads, I can just test it then. It's got a load of muck on the back of it, but right. I've just tacked that onto the board. You can sort of see it on the microscope view there, look. So let's get my probe. So I just should be able to go across it with this, hopefully. Just like that, and measure it. So let's get you back to the actually no, let me just measure it here. It's reading 475, so that's fine. Yeah, I can reuse that one. So yeah, it's measuring, well, it's gaining. Yeah, it's around 475. So he's all right. So what we'll do is we'll clean that pad up where it's come off of. Which was up here. I don't know, it's a bit of an art working under a microscope. You see these guys that do all the console and phone repairs working underneath them. I don't work underneath it enough to be that proficient at it. So there we are, let's just take that off as well. Right, let's demuck the tweezers. What I do need to do is clean off the underside of the resistor because it is a bit mucky, as you can see. Still mucky. So many of the like hard deposits where I've got rid of it, all the muck. There we go, like a new one. You don't want that underneath it there. Right. So what I'll try and do is put a little bit of, get off. Fluff. This is the trouble using cotton buds. Get this fluff and everything out everywhere. So what I'll do is I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of solder on the board on one pad. I'm just going to tin the iron, touch the iron there, put a little bit of solder, and I should be able to just slide this one in and just get a different angle a minute. Hope you can still see. Easier to do this with hot air, really, soldering these little components, but one side. There she is. There you go. Back on. A little bit blobby on that side, but to be fair, that looks pretty good. Oh, look, it's never been off. Right. We need to solder mask this up, really. Let's give it a bit of a clean up. Going to use the old fibre pen. Fiberglass pen that is, but let's make sure all the corrosion's gone. And get our pen. Let's get you a better angle on that. Can't really. Yeah, so you can see that's cleaned up now. Look. So I'll just put a bit of solder mask on it just to stop it spreading when I actually solder the component on it. That's all. It will work. Bizarre, how you doing, mate? It's mucky because you burnt off the glue that was holding it down. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. Welcome, Bizarre, by the way. So we need to get some 470 ohm 0805 SMD resistors. I've resorted to getting a lot of SMD stuff off of eBay now, purely because of the fact that the big names, you either got to buy a huge quantity. I mean, I use very few resistors. You've either got to buy a huge quantity or buy a small amount and get stung for postage. Right, let's see if I can blob some of this in here and make it pretty. Let's get a cocktail stick. Goes off pretty quick though, so it's already going off. You get the gist of it though. Stops the copper corroding further as well as making the solder not run into that area. There, that's better, isn't it? How about that? Just touching some of these other areas. That's got the worst of it. So the other area that might need a little bit of a touch up is over here, where all this is all gone mucky. Doesn't really matter there because it, as I say, both paths use the same ground. Just makes it a bit neater when you solder it, that's all. Martin, how you doing, mate? I missed a bit, yeah. Right, that should do nicely. Let's scrape it away where we don't want it. Don't want a blobby bit there. Come on, get off. Okay, some little bits down here. That doesn't really matter there. I want a little bit there. It dries really quick, this stuff. That's got the worst of it. There we go. That'll do us. So that should have dried pretty much by now, that other one. Yeah, that's looking better, isn't it? And we won't get any caps bridging now. Now, I think they're 47s, those. But I can't remember. Four, 7, 6. Anyway. To look up some chairs, Bob. No welcome, Martin. No worries, mate. Occasional, how are you, Steve? Not seen you for a while, mate. Hope you're okay. For 470 ohms. Yeah, it is. It's strange that they're not in that set, isn't it? Really? How ridiculous is that? I hope it will. Rietveld chairs, very nice. Random microscope frame generator. What, bizarre? Yeah, frame rate's not great on that, is it? I don't know what's going on with that camera. It's never been right, really. Been catching up offline. No worries, Steve. Good to have you on board still, mate. Chip caps. We knew what you meant. It's actually resistors, but we didn't want to say nothing. We didn't want to say nothing, Paul. So if I get a chance in the week, I will repopulate that with all brand new caps and test it. Fingers crossed. It'll work. Although I've not been having much joy with Pro80s recently. But this one doesn't look too bad. I don't know what it is. Something somewhere fails when the caps go bad. I haven't yet put my finger on it. I've had another one before where something's gone, and I've got the same problem with this SW77. Something somewhere, isn't it? So that pretty much is it for today. I mean, my voice sync is way off, so when we go full screen now, you're going to all start saying, oh, what the hell are you up to, Graham? Yeah, the voice, the mouth doesn't, you know, the voice comes out after the mouth or before the mouth. I don't know, but, you know, that's it for today, people. Hope you've enjoyed that. I know we haven't done a lot. We just took the caps off, but that's quite a lot of work in itself. Plus, I've still got a lot of cleanup to do before I can start putting caps back on. And I also need to buzz out some of those vias. In other words, check for continuity between the two sides of the board to make sure that they are still intact. I mean, really, you could do with going through every single via and putting a pin through it, but oh God, that takes forever. Takes forever. How many caps did I remove? So far, Vince, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, Vince, I believe. There might be some that are stuck to my arm and fallen on the floor. I mean, there's one there. That might be number 16. 16 maybe. But that could be off of another radio. Yeah, just on there, look. A sorry state of caps. So I think that is 16, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah. 16 in total, plus any that have stuck to my arm and fallen on the floor. Because they do that. I'd say one of those might have been from another radio because it was off to the edge there, but I suspect it's one off of this one. So yeah. Didn't do any hot air removal there because these sets are too small really. You just end up burning all the connectors. You can do it, but you've just got to mask off all the areas. That's it for today, people. Hope you enjoyed that. A couple little teething issues right at the very start, as is usual. It wouldn't be right without it, would it? So you're welcome. You're welcome, Vince. Yeah, they stick to your arms. You put your hand on arm on the desk. You go up and you got like about 5 caps stuck to your arm. Horrible little things. Anyway, cheers everybody. Thanks, Dwarf. And we might continue this one next Sunday, or we might move on to Clint's 2001D. So Thanks everybody. Don't forget to give it the thumbs up, like, subscribe and all that business. And if you want to join the members or the Patreons, no obligation, but you know, I will try and put some more stuff on there as well for you guys, because I've been neglecting you a bit. Well, I just haven't had time, but I will try and make time. Cheers everybody, have a good one. See you next Sunday, and have a good bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. Bye for now.